That's no
forehead.
It's a space station.
Time to murder it! I got a bad case, I'm turning it up. It's getting cold in here, so fire it up. I got a bad case, I'm turning it up. It's getting cold in here, so somebody fire it up. Come on and fire it up.
How did you guys like the classic RnT intro? I fucking loved it. I went to HBO and I said, hey, look, I've done 2 video shows this season and I want to do something that's a little bit of a throwback. I know you love my ratings you get from me. How about we do a one-off? You know what HBO said to me, IFL? You could come back anytime, kid. So now I have motherfucking syndication. Showtime is my new home, but you'll know when you see that intro, Old L Raven is bringing something a little extra this time around. I am so happy to be back to my format. So freaking excited to bring you this show. The show is a return home, and I'm fucking crazy fired up for it today. What have I got for you? After a 20-show blacklisting, I welcome back San Francisco Josh. We'll talk SF auction, free agent value, and where the hell has analyzed this been. Nathan returns with an all-new movie review on Nate Hates the 80s. This one is bound to be classic. And finally, Daniel LaRusso, aka Cincinnati Dan, will put his metal reputation on the line in an all-new segment. But as always, first things first.
Remember, Sally, when I promised to kill you last? That's right, Major. You did. I lied.
The free agent auction, holy sheep shit. Is it going exactly how you expected? If you answered yes, go choke on a cup of broken glass, you shithead, because I call bullshit. This has been absolute chaos, and it's fucking great. Look, any of you who thought that you were going to go ahead and build your team and be done with it are already fucked. This is phase 1. We still got the rookie draft, the second auction, a shit ton of trading. Here's my question to you. Have you got that one guy yet? The one guy that you're like, he's on my roster, period. For me, it was Lethal fucking Bortles. Blake Bortles was going to be my franchise QB no matter what. Now, I don't give a shit what any of you think because I'm stoked to have him leading the franchise for the next 4 years. That's right. Write it down. Blake, your 4-year contract is in the mail. Who else have you secured? I was giddy as fuck to get Telvin Smith. I tried to pry that kid away from Spencer like 15 times last year, and he just wouldn't go ahead and bite. Getting a target and denying a rival is just so sweet. Put that in your pipe and smoke it, Spencer. In the AFC, Todd Gurley went for $23 million to San Diego Decker. Huh, what are your thoughts on that? You want to know mine? Think you got a choice? I think it's a sustainable contract for up to 3 years for Decker, but only because a lot of GMs bailed his ass out on his 57 running back strategy that he had locked up. He's going to need to be creative the rest of the way so that he can go ahead and do that. But to get who many consider to be the number 1 running back has got to be exciting for a guy who won 3 fucking games last year. Miami Brad locked up Antonio Brown for 21. I feel like I was the only one raising him up. And the champ is already fucking beginning to rebuild his juggernaut. But here's my question. Where's the rest of the AFC West? Where the fuck are you? As of right now, I am 0 impressed. And when I say 0 impressed, if there was anything less than 0, I'd go ahead and do it. Maybe Stat Guy Josh can help me with that. And I'm looking mainly at you, Mr. Mark. And I'm not going to let you off the hook either, Travis. This is your chance to go ahead and prove that you were just dealt a shitty hand. Aaron, you're about what I expected. Back to Mr. Mark. You know, You pulled that boneheaded trade with Brad a few weeks ago, and now you're just kind of playing the waiting game? Do you understand how important it is to the league that you're as good or as close to you've been historically? Do your job, man. Wake up, make a splash. I'm going to go against something. I can't believe I'm going to go ahead and say this, Mark. Sit down, because your fucking head's going to explode with what I'm about to say. You put down the pint, and you don't touch the stuff until you do what the AFC needs of you. Compile a badass roster to keep the natural order of things in check. And to that, I will drink. Now, I could talk auction all show. We have so far to go, and this is just a snapshot right now of what is going to go ahead and continue to happen. But I do want to address one thing. Marcus Peters going to Nathan in Jacksonville for $4.125 million. Anyone who knows me knows that Captain Marcus Peters is near and dear to my heart. But Nate, I very rarely, if ever, and I mean ever, agree with Greenberry. But $4 million plus, even for the best cornerback in 2015, was a mistake. I hope he kicks ass, because he'll always be my boy. But cornerbacks are a dime a dozen. That is the last shout out you're ever going to get here, Gaper. We had a new show debut last week. It's called The War Factory. It's a cute little show with all the war analogies, patent opening. John sitting there with his fucking army helmet on, just totally getting into it. It's just like, pew pew, 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 pew. And you know what? A Raven can get on board with that. But! And you knew there was a but. I have a few takeaways / suggestions. First off, the song. There will be a second off. You know that, right? Okay. But John, I actually like your show, for the record. I totally get it. But you're the fucking factory of sadness. You're trying to change the image of Cleveland. Your show is called The War Factory. You should have gone with the War Machine cover by 6 Feet Under. What do you guys think? I'm thinking that fucking, Patton wasn't rolling around going, I'm indestructible, I'm indestructible. No, I think what they were fucking saying was, I'm a war machine. Just me. Anyone else agree? Okay, second off. Donnie. It ain't Donnie, you paint chip, asbestos gargling son of a bitch. It's Danny. And you're a funny guy, John. Maybe you got one over on El Raven. But it seemed pretty goddamn sincere. I even called Donnie. And I said, Donnie, is he serious? Or does he just not know who the fuck you are? And Donnie was like, nah, man, I don't think he knows it's Danny. So the problem with a bad joke is when no one fucking knows if it's fucking a joke or not. So you tell me, who the fuck is Donnie? Well, I know Danny, and this kid's come to play. Sure, he knows shit about metal, which we're going to reaffirm in a little while, but I think that he's the real deal. I just want to make sure, John boy, that you're okay at your advanced age, because brain trauma starts to rear its ugly fucking head. Your guest, Brian. Booker T and fucking Gold Dust. Are you serious? Like, serious? I would have accepted the Rockers, Rockin' Sock, even Strikeforce, just to name a few. But you go with the Spinneroonie and the Diva. Which, fuck you, by the way, Luke. Okay, fine. Well, you know what Goldust's move was? Brian? Dallas? It's a kick in the balls. So here it is. The next time my name flies out of your mouth in a media event, it better be attached to thankfulness for the fact that I fucking stuck up for you, little lamb, against the man who runs the Bog of Eternal Stench in Green Bay. Damn, kids today. No respect! Fucking Gold Dust. Again, Luke, fist your own asshole. And finally, Slack. I see its benefits, but fuck Slack. The best part of driving the home page was the fact that you needed to be there to be active. Be fucking active. If you weren't relevant in the conversation and you weren't there, then you were missing out. Now that sense of urgency is gone. You can miss up to a week and get caught up. Is that good? No! Be there, be involved, be a part, and be active in the now. This is one vote for the old piece of shit chat board. Sure, it sucked, but it sucked in real time. You were there to see it, or you weren't. Back in a moment.
Our time has come. For 300 years, we prepared, we grew stronger. While you rested in your cradle of power, believing your people were safe and protected. You were trusted to lead the Republic, but you were deceived. As our powers of the dark side have blinded you. You assumed no force could challenge you.
You're listening to Rippin' and Tearin' with El Raven, your #1 IFL beer drinking show.
All right, welcome back to the show. I'm very happy to have one of the original guests of Rippin' and Tearin'. He's been away for a long hiatus, 20 shows actually. He is San Francisco Josh of the 49ers. Josh, how you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing all right, Matt. I had a late night, a lot of travel yesterday, and I'm just trying to get in the swing of things, make sure I don't shit the bed completely.
Okay, no problem. Before I get started, dude, you and I got a little chippy last year. I think sometimes stuff on the show can go ahead and be misconstrued, especially via text. It was a big deal for me to go ahead and give you MacGyver, buddy. Did you take that as a compliment, or are you just like, whatever, I could solve my problems with a paperclip anyway?
We'll start it with a love fest. That's fine. I loved the MacGyver thing, and I did take it as a compliment. And I think I was talking with Kurt when we were doing our one and only TMI show this year. I was just telling him, we were talking about all the shows in the league, and yours is by far and away the best. That you have the most, energy, the most ambition for what you want to do and what you want to provide. And I know how much time you put into it because I've done a little bit of it. It's tough stuff. So I hope people appreciate it. It brings a lot to the league, and yeah, I appreciate it, MacGyver. That was good stuff.
Dude, that is a huge compliment coming from you, dude. I sincerely appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started, dude. Well, the first place I want to go ahead and start, and I know probably everyone wants to get into auction stuff. That is obviously the talk of the town right now. But I want to start with actually your show. Analyze This. You came blazing out of the gates with 4 shows, and we're almost at 2 months without one. And you gave me like a little explanation prior to coming onto the show as to why there hasn't been another show as of late. But I guess, in the simplest form, like, when can we expect you back, man?
Radio takes a lot of time and effort. I tried to address that when I was creating the show to try and make it short and doing interviews. But the past 6 weeks I've been working on a project just taking all my free time, and I haven't even carved out time to edit a show I did with Barry that I have in the can. But I will after the auction, and I don't know. There's going to be so much anticipation, like ratings, bonanza incoming, maybe 2 months.
Agreed, dude. Agreed. Okay, and so what you were working on, that is tied to this auction or the rookie draft? I can't remember.
Oh, it's both. It's just I built a web app that lets me look at players and track the free agents and stuff like that.
Okay, so let's segue that right into the San Francisco vet auction. How's it going for you? Has there been anyone you've missed on? Is there a couple guys out there that you're still like, hey, they're obtainable? Tell me a little bit about the San Francisco auction.
Well, like I said, I'm extremely hungover, so my draft strategy of drafting from the toilet is spot on. It's working perfectly. Nils is out there. He's hoarding defensive tackles and defensive ends and linebackers. I think he's going to pull them up and repackage them and defraud the NFC later. And Will, my division rival, he's arranging paper clips in the shape of boobs on his desk, calling it multitasking. Barry and Odell Beckham are picking out drapes. So things are pretty much going according to Hoyle. And someone stole my phone last night. I was with a guy who's a big Denver Bronco fan, and he fucking bid on Von Miller. So now I got that ass clown on my team. But I'm pretty pleased. I got Ben Heaney, and so I like that pick. But other than that, I'm playing the waiting game right now, man.
You know, I know you're a big Ben Heaney fan, dude. I'm glad that you said that because you and I were in another dynasty league together that you left last year. You didn't participate last year. And I remember you talking about Ben Heaney, and I drafted Ben Heaney. So he's a VNFL guy, dude. So, you know,
Nice.
I definitely thank you for that, and I hope that he has a great year. So I want to go ahead and go back to our interview back in 2015, which I thought was one of the better interviews of the entire season. It flowed, and there was a lot of good stuff. And when I was listening to it, sometimes I listen to old interviews, and I'm like, there wasn't a lot there. But back in 15, you talked about the advantage of no emotional investment in our teams or our rosters. So you and I both took over teams that had already been picked for us. We were replacement owners. Now that you've had a year in this format, now that you've had guys that were on your team that were you picked them, they were your choices. Do you feel any emotional attachment now that you have a clean slate and you're targeting those guys, or is it still the same for you?
Well, you remember, a lot of how we built our rosters last year was mainly through trading because our teams sucked. They sucked. I guess you had some high draft picks that you would promptly douse with gasoline and set on fire. But me, I traded my pick, which was Kevin White, for DP, and that backfired. I mean, Demaryius Thomas had the worst good season in history.
Right.
1,200 yards, but it just felt like shit every week.
Yeah.
And but anyway, so I don't really get attached to players, unless they're really good. If I'm a really good player, then I want them, But once they get bad, I start looking at other girls. One thing I did want to say about the previous league, though, dude, taking on an orphan team sucks. It's super hard. You're constantly behind the 8-ball. I mean, the fact that you made the playoffs last year, I thought was really impressive. My hope for this league is that we have very, very few orphans.
I hope so too. I honestly, I think that in the AFC, from what I can see, I can't really follow the NFC quite as close, but I think in general, the rookies are doing okay. I don't see any clear-cut winner right now. It's way too early. But they're not doing horrible, which is a very good sign because they need to have hope. If they have no hope, then that's why they'll leave. Okay. When we spoke last time, you talked about the fact that there wasn't any value in free agency. And that, in essence, we were going to overpay. Like you said, we took over bad teams, and we were going to overpay to try to get competitive. Now that we're at ground zero, in the AFC, I do not see that has changed at all. But in NFC, it seems a little bit more controlled. Do you think that you can find value in this format, in this particular auction draft?
Well, you don't really know until the auction plays out. I mean, once the best player last night set the ceiling, things got a lot clearer for me. And, for example, if you're like Brad or something, you can sit there and you can go, David Johnson, is he worth 1.2 Jarvis Landrys? And you come up with an answer. And since 1.2 Jarvis Landrys equals garbage, he bid gently cut
Okay. All right, man. So you're the guy who pours over stats. All right. There's a nice interruption. At least so far we don't have any barking dogs. So you're the guy who pours over stats. With this new scoring format, is there something that you see with formations or anything as a sneaky play that you're willing to go ahead and let us in on?
Sure. I don't know how much I want to say here because I feel like anything I say will just end up overly influencing Cleveland John's decision making, and I don't want that on my conscience. But here's one thing. I think zero RB is viable. I think if someone had enough balls, they could actually win with zero RB. So I think that's what it's worth.
That would be fucking gutsy. All right, man. I'm gonna get you out on this. Okay, we're gonna go back in time. You ready?
Yep.
All right. Let me make sure my speakers are turned up here, and we'll go ahead and we'll get you out on this. The Minnesota Vikings will be blank in 2015. What will they be?
Respectable, which is a far fucking cry from what they were in 2014.
Okay. So, Josh, did you get that? Is that audible?
I remember hearing. I remember saying that, and I remember the interview. Yeah. So.
Okay. The 2016 San Francisco 49ers will be what?
Winners. We're going to be 10-6, win the division, and probably flame out in the playoffs.
Winners, guys. Winners. You heard it right here. Josh, thank you for taking time out of your Sunday. I hope you feel better, bud.
Thanks, man.
All right, thank you.
And now, finally, we have returned. Deceived. And now your republic shall fall.
You're listening to Rippin' and Tearin' with El Raven, making your ears bleed all in the name of fantasy football.
Okay, welcome back to Rippin' and Tearin'. It is time for the return of a very popular segment. In fact, I'm pretty sure that Nathan could go ahead and take over the show and nobody would fucking miss me. It's time for Nate Hates the 80s. And so before I bring Nate on, I want to let you guys know, get you a little recap here, okay? So he shredded the shit out of Top Gun. And prior to that, I asked him to go ahead and watch RoboCop, and he couldn't even fucking get through it. So I decided, fuck it. He hated two movies that clearly were classics. I'm going to throw him something that I know he's going to fucking despise. because I know that Nate will turn it to gold. So, Nate's about to go ahead and review one of my favorite movies of all time. Big John himself fucking hated it. We traded blows over that last season. Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, easily the greatest Trek movie of all time. You're either a Trek fan or you're not. And if you are, you know this is the best one of them all. And if you're not, you fucking hate Star Trek anyway. Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, for any of those uninitiated, is the story of fucking Admiral James T. Kirk after he's promoted from being captain of the Enterprise, trying to get his ship back because he's tired of fucking pushing pencils and training trainees. He goes out on a mission, and wouldn't you know it, a guy he marooned on a planet 15 years ago has gotten himself a hold of a fucking Federation ship and is hell-bent on killing Admiral Kirk. I know you are enthralled and are going to stop this program right now, run out, watch this movie. But if you're not, let's see what Nathan has to say about it.
All right, Matt. I'm going to have to be pretty honest on this movie. I did have a really difficult time watching this. I actually fell asleep twice on this one. So I feel like I almost have to go back and give Top Gun a little upgrade because this movie definitely just put me to sleep. There was no action.
No action?
But it was not an action movie. But, I'm a man of the people. I'm just going to give my honest review so I can spare everyone else from the misery. Because I should be the only one that's forced to endure this if I'm going to be doing this little segment. So, first off, just to kind of get this off my chest, Captain Kirk is the biggest pussy in this movie. He's depressed the whole time because he's aging, and he's not captain of the Enterprise anymore, so now he plays this depressed character through the whole movie, which just makes him kind of terrible. And then, kind of like, again, it's not an action movie. It kind of turned into a slow-paced tragedy film for me, because Spock dies. Spoiler alert. But Kirk ends up getting a son at the end of the movie, which was a whole other topic that they kept playing hints throughout the movie, and then they ended it with one line saying the kid just turned into Kirk and saying, "Oh yeah, by the way, I'm your son." And then they left it at that, and that was it. There's nothing, no big build-up. There was nothing more added to it. It was just, "Oh, I'm your son. Let's move on with the movie." But for those of you looking for a little comedy in the movie, there was a little comedic relief at the very end when Spock dies in this glass chamber.
You're an asshole.
He saves the ship. Captain Kirk goes down to talk to him, and he wanders around in this little glass room like a damn bird and runs into the glass as if the crew just spent the whole movie Windexing that damn room, and he couldn't see where he's going. So that was the only part that I actually laughed at. So if you're looking for a little comedy, there it is. But most of all, the thing that bugged me the absolute most of the whole movie is the damn TV screen that they have for their ship's window. Just blows my mind. If I'm the captain of the Enterprise, the first thing I'm doing is knocking that bitch out and putting a big window, just a giant window, and then put a little 8-inch fuzzy screen television that we can pull up, next to my chair. But they're going through battle. They can't see where they're going. They can't see who's around them. They're trying to find the ship in this, radiation cloud, but it's interfering with their 70s television that's all fuzzy. And it's just like, it was like, what? Why the hell do we have this multi-billion-dollar machine, I'm assuming, and you choose to put a television as your only means of looking outside? Just blew my mind that was their only option. And then just kind of finish off my review and maybe you can help me out with this. I don't understand how every battle that they get into, it seems like the Enterprise just goes through hell. It is fires everywhere, panels are falling from the ceiling, people are getting knocked over, bloody faces, and, they tell the captain that, oh, our ship's so damaged, panels that were played, fires that stopped. There's no burn marks anywhere. The captain's grid looks pristine. Like, I would like to see them trying to put that bitch back together with duct tape, just to make it realistic. Just make things broken. But to come back every time and have the ship in just pristine condition, I was like, it just doesn't make sense.
Okay.
So that's my whole review on Star Trek II, The Rise of Khan.
Okay, it's goddamn it. I've been holding back. First off, it's the Wrath of Khan. The Wrath of Khan. Secondly, before I get to you, how many Sleepy Nates does this get? Now remember, Top Gun got, I think, 9.
Yeah. Top Gun got 9, and I wish I had a way to go above 10, because this movie would fit 10. Like I said, I feel like I should bump Top Gun down, because this movie was by far the biggest waste of time I've ever been forced to do.
Okay, first off, I want to thank you for being a good sport, dude. Fucking,
Yeah.
I purposely gave you this movie knowing you would loathe it. But after Top Gun review, I was fucking pissed because you'd like shit on RoboCop and Top Gun, and I was like, well, motherfucker, I'll give you something I know you're gonna hate. Okay, few things that I want to talk to you about your review. First off, you didn't even mention Khan, dude. What?
The character himself, at the very end, he looks like the guy from Scary Movie that says, like, take my good hand. And he's just got his own crisp up, and to me, he wasn't a great villain.
Oh my god.
Maybe that's just me thinking of the newer edition of Star Trek 2, but this Khan was, though I guess I will give him this. He had the best Deep V t-shirt of all time.
Yeah, that was a pretty sick t-shirt. Dude, Khan is one of the all-time villains, dude. So, and I mean, did you draw the comparisons, the Moby Dick, the whole movie, the underlying themes of the Moby Dick, where he was just like Captain Ahab Khan, and he was just obsessed at getting fucking Kirk?
Honestly, I didn't, because I didn't really put that much thought into it. I basically turned it on and just tried to zone out.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was the fucking it was the Rise of Khan. Okay, second thing that I picked out on your review. You said that at the end of the movie, David comes up and says, hey, I'm your son. Actually, he says, I'm proud, very proud to be your son. And then there was a very emotional hug. Okay? Very, very emotional hug. Okay, next thing. You didn't mention the earbuds, dude. Did that make you not scream or what, dude?
I mean, I was trying to fit within my time. And I can't give them every detail of this movie, but those earbuds, okay, I don't get I get what you mean, they are kind of gross, they crawl out of the ear, but at the same time, they weren't supposed to be able to overrule whatever Khan was told to do, and yet the guy turned the laser on himself and shot himself.
Well, wouldn't you do that? Wouldn't you do that if you had a giant cockroach in your ear?
How did he overpower the bug? They weren't supposed to overpower him. I don't get that.
Well, there was a bug that ate its way into his skull. Okay, moving on. Your complaint about the TV screen is fucking hilarious, dude. I just want to let you know that I agree they didn't have any windows in the 23rd century. But wouldn't you agree that having a giant window to fucking space when you could have a space battle could be a bad thing?
I agree, but they have shields also to consider. But even if they just put a one-by-one window, that's just a port that has that would be better than nothing.
Everybody would be fucking smashing into that one-by-one window. Let me see.
Yeah, Spock would just be like, bah.
All right.
Jam his head into it.
Okay, two last things. Shields, you just touched on it. That's why the Enterprise is always fixed, I guess, but they do have repair crews. And then you and I had talked about it previously, and you didn't touch on it. Did you feel like the perfect soft landing for Spock's torpedo tube was good or bad?
Yeah, I left that one out, but I figured if I had time to talk about it, I would. Obviously, I think that's a little, unrealistic. They just shot his coffin right out of the spaceship to this newly formed planet, and they pan down to it at the end of the movie, and it's just, No damage to the area. It doesn't look like it skid across the ground. Nothing of the planet is touched, but Khan's coffin is just laying there nice and perfectly in this little bed of plants.
Well, because you know the sequel is Star Trek III: The Search for Spock, and you already nailed it on the head. You figured it out. How does Spock come back?
Planet heals him. Apparently, the planet has some magical healing powers.
It's the motherfucking Genesis effect. Nate, I want to thank you. You're a good sport, bud. Everyone loves this segment. I look forward to doing it again, and thank you for your time on a Sunday.
Perfect.
New York, a city pushed to the edge. People pushed to the limit, and no one's got the guts to stop them.
It's collection time, Charlie.
3 murders, 4 rapes, 9 acts of random violence. This isn't a neighborhood, it's a war.
But there is one way. One man who won't be pushed. Charles Bronson.
What's the problem? Now you're gonna die.
It'll be just like before, Mr. Vigilante, with one important difference. You're gonna work for me.
People have got to start to fight back and hard.
I sent them a message.
That's him. I'll take care of him.
And now, he's in the middle of a war.
See what you done? You got me mad.
In a world gone mad, there is only one law. His. Charles Bronson. Death Wish 3. Bronson's back in New York, bringing justice to the streets. Charles Bronson, Death Wish 3.
You're listening to Rippin' and Tearin', a great way to feel smarter.
Time to play the game. Time to play the game.
Okay, welcome to an all-new segment on Rippin' and Tearin' called Is It Metal? I am very happy to go ahead and welcome back to the show Danny of the Cincinnati Bengals. Danny, how you doing today, bud?
Doing good, bro. Just chilling out. Ready for the segment, man. Kick it off.
Okay, well, here's the deal, dude. When we had our interview a couple episodes ago, you know that I was not happy when you named the band that you named as being your favorite metal band. So I started thinking about it. And I was like, we can have some fun with this. So before we get started, I want to let you know that I'm not sure exactly if in the 7th round or in the 6th round my pick is ahead of yours in the upcoming rookie draft. But whichever one, if in the 7th round, if I have a higher pick than you, I will go ahead and give you my 7th round pick for your 7th round pick if you can answer 10 of these correctly, okay?
10? Out of how many?
10 out of 10, man. You got to be fucking metal, all right?
Holy shit.
That's
All right, bro. I'm game.
okay. All right. Now, if in the 7th round you have an earlier pick than me, then that would probably mean in the 6th round I have an earlier pick than you. So I'll give you my 6th round pick if you get 10 out of 10. So either way, I'll take care of you if you can do this. But let's do a little test, okay? All right, a little warm up. Okay. All right.
All right, man.
All right. The first band is Metallica. Are they metal? Yes or no?
You're giving me the easy ones first. I got this. Like, of course it's metal.
Okay. Well, this is just a test. It doesn't count. But metal, yes. Okay. All right. Second test, just to make sure that we're on the same fucking page, all right?
All right.
Have you got a beer?
Actually, I do.
Excellent. Quick drink break.
Go for it.
Okay. The next band, metal or not metal? Korn.
According to you, it's not.
That's right, and that's all that matters. I'm the fucking metal guy in IFL. All right, you got this. Okay, you ready to play?
Let's do it, bro.
Okay, number 1. Baby Metal Hitler.
What the fuck?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's called Baby Jesus Hitler. Metal, yes or no?
Yes.
Absolutely. There you go. 1 for 1, guy. 1 for 1. All right. They're horrible. Okay. But they definitely are metal, dude. Okay. Number 2. Metal or not metal? Kill Switch Engage.
So I heard you tell me that this was one of your favorite metal bands. I'm gonna go yes.
Absolutely, dude. 2-0. Okay, man. You're moving on. You're moving on. Okay. Number 3. Metal or not metal? Poison.
Poison is a hair band. So, again, your definition, dude, I'm gonna go metal.
Oh my fucking god! Shortest segment in the history of fucking ripping and tearing. Oh, dude. Really? Yeah. Well, hey, Danny, I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to just totally blow this segment, and know that you'll get a second shot at this in an upcoming episode.
All right, dude, redemption. That's what I'm going for.
All right, man. Thank you very much. We'll be right back.
Thank you, bro.
Before we cut to commercial, I just want to say how goddamn disappointed I am in this kid. I like him a lot, but we need to work on this shit, dude. I'm going to have to send him some quizzes or something. All right, back in a moment.
You're listening to Rippin' and Tearin' with the Trash Bird. If you think this is bad, try living with him. Now back to the show.
All right. Welcome back to the final segment of the show. I want to go ahead and thank Josh for his time for his interview. I want to thank Nate for that excellent review of Star Trek 2. You're completely fucking wrong. And Daniel. Daniel. One day, I'm going to let you crane kick Johnny, and I will put my name over it. But God knows when that will be. And I want to get out on this. The Educated Guesses show was back last week as a sleep aid for cancer patients. It took us 30 minutes for them to get warmed up after a long layoff. Hi, I'm Spencer. I'm Nate. I'm Travis. We know who you are! Jesus Christ, fellas. 85% of us know who you are. The other 15% aren't watching. I know winging it is your thing. You know what else is a thing? Pen and paper. Just a few notes just to keep you on track. I take 30 minutes of bang-up show over the 60 you feel that you're committed to do for us each week. Maybe you just open with, our names are, now sit down, shut up, and let us do the talking. Educated Guesses, committed to excellence in 2016. I know you guys can do it. That's a show. I'm out.